Good morning and welcome back. If you are new here, my name is Stephanie and this is Simply From Scratch. This is my kitchen and I like to share a variety of different recipes with you guys, or what we're cooking in our kitchen, or I should say I'm cooking in our kitchen. So today I'm going to be working on canning pineapple. The pineapples are ripe and now is the day to do it. So we're going to go ahead, and I have cut most of the pineapples already, but I did save one because I wanted to go over a couple of things with you guys. This is just the recipe out of Ball's Back to Basic cookbook that they have, and so it looks super simple. I have never canned pineapple before, but I've definitely wanted to do it just because I use pineapple in our jerk chicken and our jalapeno chicken. It's just so much nicer to have it on my shelf from something I've done than buy it canned. And if you buy it canned, it's okay, it's not a big deal. I'm just working on filling our pantry over the summer with things that are currently in season so we can enjoy them throughout the year. So all right, let's get cooking. Enough talking. So let's get this pineapple cut up, and so then we can get it canned. Okay, so I've got my pineapple and I've already kind of cleaned it up, but the reason why I wanted to wait is you want to make sure before canning that you remove the eyes. I don't know if you guys can see those. Those are just the little brown spots when you're taking off the outer part of the pineapple. And so you just want to make sure that you remove as many as you possibly can before cutting or before canning your pineapple. So like I said, I had most of them done. I left a few on here just to show you guys, but I wanted to go ahead and get most of it cut and ready off camera, just so I don't have to, when I edit, fast forward really fast for you guys to see it all. So this is just how I cut my pineapple. It's however you guys want to do it. I cut off the edge and then I cut off these two just like that. Set that aside, and then we're just going to go ahead, and I've opted to do chunks of pineapple versus slices just because this is how I always buy it anyways, so might as well keep it the same to what I normally do. Now the recipe calls for 5 pounds of pineapple. I honestly did not weigh it. I did double the light syrup recipe that the book calls for, but I wanted to just see how much we get. So I'm going to go ahead and finish getting this cut, and I do already have the water starting to warm up for the light syrup, and I've got my sugar measured out just that way it dissolves quicker. And then we're going to pop this pineapple into that simple syrup. Okay, so this is the big bowl of pineapple that we have. So it's at least 5 pounds. Whether or not it's 10, I'm not sure, but we're just going to work with it and do what we can and see how many we can get. In my pot is 11.5 cups of water, and I'm adding in 3 cups of sugar. This is going to make a light simple syrup. Again, I am following the directions from the Ball cookbook. And so if you have another one, just follow those directions. Now, it always says for the simple syrup, you can add in different spices. They give you a list that won't impact the canning process, and to ensure that it's going to be canned safely. However, I did it with the peaches. If you haven't seen that video, I can link it below. I made vanilla peaches. This time around, I'm just going to leave the simple syrup plain, and that way it will just be canned pineapple like we're used to purchasing. But if you feel like you want to add something else, you can. So I'm going to give this just another minute or so for the sugar to dissolve. This is why I added the water first and was starting to heat it up. I do have my water bath canner right here, letting that warm, and my jars are already sterile and in the oven staying warm because this is going to be hot packed. So it looks like all the sugar's dissolved. So the next step we're going to do is add in the pineapple. Now, okay, this could be interesting. Here, I'm going to just going to get a measuring cup to kind of help put it in there so it doesn't splatter everywhere. The directions do call for you to cook the pineapple until it's heated through, and then you're going to hot pack it into the jars. So that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to get all of this in there. Hopefully this pot is big enough. I got a bigger one to do, so we'll see what happens here. And I just currently have it on a high heat as I was starting to warm up the water. Now I can tell that I have a few of my pineapples that still have the eyes on them. Once I try to pull them out, I'm going to try to catch them and try to cut that off if I can. If not, I'll just set it aside. Don't know if we are going to have enough room, but we are going to see. Let's see if we can get the rest of this in here. It's just a little bit. Okay, that's going to be close. Okay, so I definitely needed a bigger pot. This is going to be pushing it for sure, but I'm hoping what I can do is make sure, without having to get another one, I can get it all in here and cooked. I mean, you just want to heat it through because, again, we are hot packing this. So, and it's going to process obviously in the water bath, and that's going to kind of help. It'll cook it some too for those 15 minutes. So I think I'm going to get a lid and see if that will help kind of cook some of that through. Well, that's one way to do it. Okay, so very carefully make sure you have the right size pot. Clearly this was just a little small for the amount of pineapple I had, but we're going to make it work for now. And so it did not, the recipe did not say how long to cook this for. So I'm going to set a timer for about 4 minutes. Because all we're trying to do is to heat this through. We're not trying to cook it. So we're going to give it about 4 minutes, and so then I'll be back and show you guys what it looks like. It's been 4 minutes, so we're going to check this and see. And I'm just going to take one of the ones from the top. And I'm just going to kind of break it open and see. Yeah, it's definitely warm. So I'm going to stop right there. So 4 minutes covered was enough to heat it through. Again, we're not trying to cook it. We're just trying to heat it through. Okay, so now that it's ready, what I'm going to do is you guys can't really see that, but here is my pineapple right here. I'm going to carefully ladle out the pineapple into the jars, and I have 12 pint jars. I don't feel like when I am making the various dishes with the pineapple that I need more than a pint. So that's the size I'm going to do, but if you do need more, you can absolutely just use a quart size if you want to, or if you don't use as much, do a pint. Just follow the recipe for you know what they say for the processing time. So I believe my recipe was 15 minutes for pints, and I think it was 20 or 25 minutes for quarts. But again, for myself, pint is perfectly fine, because I will add this to like jerk chicken. So when I fry up our chicken and add in the jerk seasoning, right there towards the end, I will toss in the pineapple. I do drain it first, but then I toss in the pineapple. And it just adds a little bit of sweetness to the jerk chicken, which, because some jerk chickens can be really spicy, some not as spicy. So I've just found this trick. It helps to cut the heat a little bit, makes it a little bit easier for one of our daughters to eat it without being miserable. All right, so, and the other thing too is this would be great to use in, oh, come on, in cocktail. I can't get the pineapple through. Hold on. Let's see if I can. One of them got stuck. Oh, there we go. Okay, so is also to make pineapple mojitos or pina coladas as well. This would be a great option for the canned pineapple as well. Few more in there, and I'm trying to strain off the simple syrup while I pull the pineapple out, just because we're going to be taking that anyways. And okay, I think actually I'm going to stop. Sorry, I didn't mean to stop mid-sentence here. I think so. I'm going to stop with this one for filling, and I'm going to see. I can't remember exactly how many pints fit in our water bath canner. I had this issue last time when I did the peaches. I got, I guess, a little overexcited about filling and packing in the fruit and didn't think about the size. And I only have one water bath canner, but it may be worth, maybe just pull that out, worthwhile to invest in another one, especially on big canning days like this. So that way I can have multiple going at the same time. But for now, we work with what we got. All right. And then just going to get a couple more. Just ladle like that. I do want to, like I said, pack these a bit more than I did the peaches. I was unsure when I did the peaches how packed to have them. And so I felt like after the fact it looked like I could have put quite a bit more in there than what I did. So I think that's pretty good. You do have to have a 1/2 inch of headspace. Set that right there. So I'm going to try to ladle out the simple syrup. Again, remember it's hot. That's what you're looking for because we're hot packing these. And we'll go ahead and get the rims cleaned and get the lids on, and we'll get these in the canner. And then depending on how much room I have will help determine if we put any more in for this round or we just wait. And if we have to wait, we'll stick the jars back into the oven to keep them hot. Okay, and set those aside. What I like to do for this part, you can is just take a wet, clean paper towel and just wipe the rims. You want to do that to remove anything that would prevent a seal from happening, because without a seal, then it's not going to be shelf stable. Now, if one doesn't seal or two, I've had that happen before. You think you got it all clean and then it just didn't seal. I then just let those cool for a few hours and then put them in the fridge, and then we enjoy them right away, whatever it would be, you know. Or if I just have a few where I don't have enough to fill something, then I will just set those aside and put them in as well. So now my lids are clean and sterile. I know a lot of people recommend keeping these in like warm water. I tried that, or even hot water. I can't remember exactly the temperature. I tried that one year, and all it did was cause them all to rust, and I don't like that at all. So I just sterilize them myself, and then I dry them really good. I keep everything on clean towels. I keep everything clean so there's no issue with it, and I've never had a problem since. And so just a personal preference, is I don't put them in the water. And again, I've never had any problem. There'll probably be some that will freak out about that and saying you should, but they are clean, they are sterilized, and so that's all that should really matter. But just a little FYI, if people don't see me pulling them out of water, that's why. It just, I don't like it. There we go. All right, so just going to ensure that they're finger tight, not too tight. We're going to go ahead and get these into the water. Go ahead and get my rack in here. Almost skipped a crucial step. We're going to take these back off. Ah. And I forgot to make sure there's no bubbles in here. I do apologize about that. I just realized it right when I was about to put them in the water. I did not. What you want to do is you want to push it down a little bit like this, because you want to make sure that you get any bubbles trapped in there out. And so again, I have yet to find the tool that comes with the canning kit to do this, so I'm not really sure what happened to it. But again, usually when I can't find something, it's because someone in my household put it somewhere where it doesn't belong. And if you're a mom, you understand that all too well. So anyways, I'm going to re-wipe just to make sure that they are clean, because I'm sure that I got some of the simple syrup on the outer edge. Seal these back up, and again, finger tight just means put it on and then kind of swirl it, and then I just give a little slight, I won't even say a tug, it's just ever so slight to make sure that the rim is on there. But you don't want to do it so tight, because this is going to expand a little bit and contract, so you want to give it a little bit of room so it doesn't shatter your jar. All right. We'll do the next three. I'm glad I caught this before it was too late. There we go. I got one left, and we're going to put these in. They're still nice and warm, so I don't think it's going to be any problem, since we've had a slight delay because I forgot this step, putting it in the water bath canner. Like that. We'll be done with that one. Okay, let's try this step again and just get these into the water bath canner. Okay, that was actually perfect timing, because the water started to boil, and that's what you want. So when I put mine in, I do like to kind of try to even out the weight in there. And so we're going to put in what we have. Okay, so I think we've got 2, 4, 6, 7, and yeah, we'll just do these 7 for now, just because I know when I drop them down, the water's going to go higher, and so, all right. Okay, so now that we've got everything in here and it is boiling, we're going to go ahead and cover it, and we're going to set the timer for 15 minutes for these. Okay, just to be super real with you guys, just so you know, you can see water was a little hot. I could take it out, but at this stage we're already processing, it's going. I don't want to disturb it. But yeah, so just watch your water level. If you put your jars in there and it seems a little high, go ahead and take some out. You just want to make sure they're covered by 1 inch of water. But this is what's currently going on in my stove. Not a big deal necessarily. I've done this plenty of times before. And I've had this happen where I just, once I turn it off, I'll put a towel down there and soak up the water and get that cleaned up. But just wanted to keep it real. So in case anybody else experiences this, This has happened to me plenty of times. Okay, it's been 15 minutes. I'm going to turn off the heat. I had some glass jars I put up just to try to catch some of that water on both sides that was coming out. So at this point, what I'm going to do, again, following the directions, I'm going to take the lid off, and then I'm going to set a timer for 5 minutes. You leave the jars in the water. You just remove the lid, turn the heat off, and we'll let this sit for 5 minutes. While that is sitting for 5 minutes, I'm going to try to move my grates from around here and get some of this water cleaned up. Again, I wanted to be very real with you, because if this happened to anybody else, especially if it's you're still very early into canning, like, or you've never done it before, it can happen. Let me bring you guys closer. You can see the jars are way down in there. They just need to be covered by 1 inch of water. So I should have taken a little bit out, but I didn't, so it's okay. It's not the end of the world. Be fairly easy to get this cleaned up. Just got to be careful this one's not too hot. Neither is that one. So just get a towel around here to clean up. So, all right, set the timer for 5 minutes. I'm going to quit talking, and I'll be back momentarily. Okay, it's been 5 minutes since it's been sitting in the water, so I'm going to go ahead and lift it up. Always make sure you have oven mitts on for this part, just because, well, those handles are extremely hot. So I'm going to go ahead and remove all these. I'm going to set them aside. I've just got a cooling rack over here, but you can see there's the final product. I've just got a cooling rack to the side of my stovetop for right now. Eventually I will move them, but for right now they can just stay over here. Just be careful, they're crazy hot. And then what I'm going to do, as soon as I get all of these out, I am going to turn the water back on and get it boiling again, so that way we can get the rest of the jars done. And in here I did pull out 3 or 4 more pint-sized jars just in case, and clean them and sterilize them while these were processing, just in case we need more jars. Okay, and while that is starting to boil, I'm going to go ahead and get the jars out, and then we'll keep processing, or getting these ready, I should say, to process. Now, I did not have any additional wide mouth jars left available besides the ones that I already pulled out for today. So I do have some just normal sized ones, the mouth. It'll be totally fine for this. You want to use wide mouth if you're doing pineapple rings, which you could do for this. I don't want to do pineapple rings. The chunks are better for me. So these should still work just fine if we need them, but we're going to find out if we do. So I kept the lid on my pineapple, which kept everything still nice and warm. So we're going to go ahead. I'm going to set, oh, these are going to be hot. Ooh, hot. The ones that are not wide mouth, I'm going to move them. It's going to be too hot to pick up fully. There we go. Just to save those for last if needed and use up. I will just make sure when I go to Walmart, I will purchase additional wide mouth jars. I do like them a lot. I use them a lot of times, not only just for canning, but like when I make our own salad dressings and stuff. Having the wide mouth obviously just makes it easier to get in and out of. I did not realize I was completely out after this one box. Alright, so we'll need some of the regular mouth jars. So I'm going to just see, I think maybe just 2. Let's see what happens. Actually, it looks like might be 3. So let's fill up just a little bit more. And stuff like that, mounting high, I'll just take it and then move it into another jar. So I'm not too worried about that. Okay, so I have just a couple of pieces. I'm going to see if I can just, I'm going to let them mount a little high. I'm going to try to push them down, pack them down, and then we'll put in the simple syrup. But there's like 3.5 little pieces floating in here, so I feel like I can get those into the rest of these jars, and it's, yeah, not going to be a problem. So I'm going to take, before I put the syrup in real quick, I'm just going to take my spoon here and kind of push it or just pack it down to see, make sure it's going to get down in there. And make sure that I can get it all covered with simple syrup. I don't want anything sticking outside of the simple syrup if I can help it. Okay, I think we're pretty good. Alright, so let's just get more of the simple syrup in, fill the jars to the 1/2 inch point. And what I like to do too is when I'm filling them, I'll fill up each one individually. Once we go to remove the bubbles, you just check to make sure that you have enough of the simple syrup in there, and then you should be good to go to get them cleaned and into the water bath canner to process. Now it does look like this recipe, which I will make sure to write it below. I don't think I did that on the peach one. I can go update that video if anybody wants it. But the Back to Basic Ball Cookbook was not very expensive. I'll make sure to link it down below too. I want to say it was about $12 maybe for the book. So it wasn't too expensive, but you know, you can check your local bookstores too to see. If anybody has a second in Charles, that is like my favorite bookstore because it's new and used books. And I buy just about every book there used for such a great price. And I love it, love it, love it, love it. Okay, so doubling the simple syrup worked. We do have some left. I am not going to save. I don't think I'm going to save the pineapple simple syrup. I did with the peach because it was a vanilla simple syrup. I'm going to taste that to see. I don't even know if it's just more simple syrup or was it infused at all with the pineapple. If it was infused at all, I'll strain it because it's got a lot of pineapple little pieces, and plus some of the, if there was a little bit of an eye on there, it kind of almost like cooked and fell off. I don't want that in the simple syrup, so I'll strain it. But let's get these done first, and then we'll see what happens. I hate to waste anything, but sometimes it just happens like that. There's not really much you can do about it. I want to make sure that I'm careful and cautious. I don't even know if that's the right word to say for what I can, things that we're going to use. I don't want to just can for the heck of canning, though it can be a lot of fun, but it doesn't always make sense to can things just out of fun that you're never going to eat. It doesn't make sense. So I'm going to go ahead and get, oops, no, I did not, okay. A lot of times too, when that was close, cleaning it, I'll flip it around just to make sure that it's a clean spot on the paper towel. I've seen some people do vinegar with this as well to help cut like fatty acids, like if you're doing bone broth. I said fatty acids, but like fats in the bone broth, because that can prevent seal for sure. I've had that happen. I don't know if I could say personally that I feel like it works better than just water, but you know, it's definitely worth a try if you wanted to give it a shot. So I need to go, I am short one lid. Let me go grab that real quick. Okay, got it. So I'm going to go ahead and get the lids on here. Okay, so last lid, and these are going to go into the water bath canner. Okay, so the water is boiling and it's ready. So we're going to go ahead, I'm going to go ahead and get the rest of my pineapple into the water bath canner. Nope. Oh, good call. Alright. Okay. Alright. So we're all in. It's not too hot. We'll drop them down. Considering the amount of water that we lost the last time, I'm not too concerned that it will overflow, but just in case, I'm going to go ahead and take, there's still plenty of space from the top of the water to where the jars are. So I'm going to go ahead and take out a little bit of water. Just to make sure. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put the lid on, and we're going to let these process for another 15 minutes. Okay, so the timer went off for 15 minutes, and now I'm going to set it for another 5 minutes to let it set in the water. This time around, I didn't have it overflowing. It was totally fine. Like I said, sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. So let's get the timer set. And so while those are just resting in the water for 5 minutes uncovered, I'm going to show you guys how I do my pineapples, if you will, to get them to root so I can plant them. Now, so the trick he showed on his video was you want to get all of the flesh of the pineapple. Actually, that one came off really easy, probably because these were ripe and definitely ready to use. And then all I do is start to peel, if I can. Oh gosh, I hope my thumbs can handle this. Peel these off. I may have to use a paper towel. Nope. There we go. Just start to pull and peel these like pineapple leaves, if you will, off. Because what you're looking for, actually, let me cut a bit more of this. There you go. You want to get down to this part right here of the core, and then you can just peel away. And what you're looking for is the roots. And I peel enough leaves so they can, one, you can see the roots, but then also you will have enough space to rest this on a mason jar full of water. I like to do mason jars because I can see them now. See the roots right there? That's what you're looking for. Again, I like to use the mason jars because they're clear, and this way, I can keep an eye on the water, make sure that I keep clean water in the mason jars. I change it every couple of days, especially in the beginning. But this is very similar. It's basically like a hydroponic system that you are creating for your pineapple. And so that's good because, again, these roots are already really starting to stick out. So I have my mason jar right here, and then I just stick it in there. And then I make sure that the water level is touching the bottom of the pineapple, and that's it. I just set it on my countertop, and I wait for them to root, just like this one did. Now, granted, this has been rooting for a while, but it's okay because it's still alive. And like I said, even if you have some brown leaves like this, don't worry about it. they will, and sometimes they'll come out, but this will turn green and lush once it's in the soil. So I'm going to go ahead and do the other two. Right there. Okay, I'm going to put this on hold for just a minute because it's time for the rest of the jars to come out. So I've got, let me get another rack and I'll put them on this side. And then usually I keep everything on my island behind the camera here, but I need to move a few things. And so I'm going to go ahead and get these out of here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and lift these up out of the water. There we go. And then I'm just going to, that center one that loves to fall. I'm going to go ahead and take them out and put them on this cooling rack. And then we'll let these cool for 24 hours before I put them into our pantry to use throughout the year. But these turned out beautifully. They were packed well. Like I said, next time I do peaches, I'd pack them a little bit more than what I did. They look gorgeous. This pineapple was so good. I may go get a couple more just so we can eat some fresh. I was snacking a little bit when I was cutting them, and oh my gosh, this pineapple was like the perfect sweetness. They were so good. So good. So I am definitely excited about how well this turned out. Alrighty. Okay, so we're going to let those cool and we'll go back to the pineapple. Okay, so just have one more to do. Again, this one's a little stubby, so we'll see how he does. Go ahead and get that part cut off, and it's same thing. Peel off the leaves. And if you have a compost pile, go ahead and toss all this in here. We had one, and then we took out our garden area. I used to have garden beds, but in Florida, this St. Augustine grass that we have is just a beast. It's unlike anything I've ever experienced before. And even though we laid down, you know, landscape fabric, and we had mulch, we had huge garden beds, lots of soil, that St. Augustine grass came up through everything like it wasn't even there, and it just got to be so difficult to garden, so we took it all out. So now we have green stalk vertical gardens, which eventually I'll take you guys outside and show you the garden area so you can see it. I talk about it, but I haven't showed you guys yet. And it just works so much better because then I'm not having to deal with the grass or the weeds. So we had it. I just got to come up with a new area to do a compost because I had an outdoor compost bin. It was basically just a garden bed, and it thrived. It was really, really good, but unfortunately, in order to do what we did for the garden area, we had to take it out. So, okay, so I've got that down, and you can see the roots are there. So let's see if we can get this one's kind of short and fat. Yep, perfect. He's in the water. So that's it. So now I've got 3 pineapples tops that I'm going to let them root, and then I'm going to put them in the planter that I have, and these will grow, and it's just something for us to enjoy and watch for the next couple years. I love plants. I have a ton of plants. I want more plants. Probably drive my husband crazy with the amount of plants, but it's really good. So I'm going to get all of this cleaned up and then move the pineapple into a safe place. I mean, I have one here, the other one right there. Get those out of the way, and then that will pretty much wrap up this video. So let me get this cleaned up and I'll be right back. Okay, so I got 15 pints of pineapple, which I think is absolutely amazing out of just 6 pineapples. And so they're beautiful. These ones they're still hot, but they're not as hot as these. These are the ones we just took out. But you can see they are gorgeous in color. Again, these were sweet. I am so excited about these. These are going to be absolutely fantastic. I cannot wait to dive into these and really enjoy them. And so these will, like I said, I'm going to let these cool for 24 hours and then they'll go into the pantry. Once I make sure everything's sealed, I'll remove the rims from it. And then that way, when you remove the rims, you can see and make sure you keep an eye on whether or not there's been any spoilage or leaking. If the lid is not tight, if anything's oozing out of it, obviously toss it. That you don't want to eat that at all. So anyways, I just want to thank you guys for joining me. Again, I do have another canning video I'm going to be making for the cowboy candy. I haven't forgot about it, but these pineapples had to be dealt with today. I think another day or two and I would have wasted my money and they would have all gone into the trash. So had to get this one done first, but I will see you guys in the next one. And thank you again for all the new subscribers, those that have been here with me, those that are liking the video. I really appreciate it. That helps tremendously. And so thank you guys so much, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.